sometimes when we have some success and then things fall off, we start to second guess what we're doing, right? Am I working with the right niche? Do I need to change what I'm doing? Basically, what's going wrong? Why did I get clients before? Why am I not getting as many clients now? What's going on? That's what this conversation is with Lenka in my online trainer mentorship that you're about to hear. She was doing a lot of the right things, but she's in a situation where she's not the market that she's targeting. She targets mothers. She's not a mother herself. And so we talk about whether that's okay, whether that's not okay. I won't ruin it for you. But we also talk about what I think is much more important, which is actually working backwards from your best clients and trying to find more people like them and exactly how to do it. Down to specifically, like, how do you find the right person to speak to and how important that is to learn more about them versus just asking generally, which can provide you a lot of bad information. Have a listen. I think you'll find this one helpful. I found this one pretty insightful as well. And I'll be back at the end to recommend another episode too. So same thing, like if you can just really quick talk about who you are and what you do, and I'm going to pull up your stuff on the other screen. So if I'm looking there, that's what I'm doing.
So I'm Lenka. I'm in Australia. I work mainly with people here in Australia and also in Czech Republic because I am originally from Czech Republic. I help mums, busy mums, to gain their confidence back without sacrificing the time with their kids. So most of the clients are training at home in their home gyms. I do still have clients face-to-face, which are same mums or older people. I guess my question is, because I'm not a mum and I will not be a mum, is if that is the right avatar for me. Because I sort of like, they can't really, I mean, I can't post anything about me doing things with my kids. So I don't know if it's a bad thing or if I should keep pushing the way I am right now. So when I first started the OTM, I got a fair few people in, and then the last probably about 4 or 5 weeks, I sort of couldn't sign anyone up. So I'm not sure if I just ran out of ideas already what I had about mums, and I'm not sure where should I sort of keep pushing.
Okay. There's a few things there. One of the other things you mentioned was on your intake here were this giveaway for the Unstoppable 4-Day Home Workout Guide. You said you got a bit of a response to that. What happened there?
Yeah, so pretty much all the giveaways that I've done, they did really well. So I got lots of responses there. I signed up 2 people from that particular giveaway and then 2 people from a previous one as well.
You said that you didn't get any clients in like 5 weeks though, but this was less than 5 weeks ago. So you've gotten a few, just not as many.
Yeah, so I did a mini launch about 3 weeks ago. So that was the giveaway. And yeah, so I did get 2 people. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. So let's talk about, I hate this word. I feel like it's like functional training. It just needs to be thrown out. Like marketers have ruined it. But let's talk about this niche then with mums. Why did you choose it?
Pretty much because they always came to me.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I mean, like that I do enjoy training them. So I was gonna push more into obviously younger professionals. And I did try that for a little bit, but then I was getting nowhere, and I was still getting mums interested. So that's when I then started working with you guys, and yeah, I was sort of, I got into the mums.
Okay. Is there any kind of a deeper why behind it? Is there any kind of a deeper purpose behind it, or it was more just sort of a business approach?
Yeah.
Do you have any stories from your own mom, from friends of yours that are moms, or anything like that that made you really realize how important it is for what you're doing?
I guess so. The message that I'm trying to get across is that people always try to diet. And so in my childhood, I remember my mom always being on diet. She literally tried every stupid diet that there was, and it never worked. And that's all I knew as a kid. So that's sort of the message that I'm trying to get across. So the mums stop dieting so that kids don't do the mistake later on as well.
Huh. How have you put across that message?
I think that was one post recently.
Because that's powerful. The idea of what are you doing to your kids when you're on this roller coaster? I think about a neighbor of ours who has body image issues. She always has, and has bounced back and forth between diets and workouts and stuff basically her whole life. And her daughter, who's in college, whether it's why or not why, I mean, I don't know. I don't think you could actually, I don't think correlation is necessarily causation here, but her daughter is just not comfortable in her body, in her skin at all, to the point where she drives home on the weekend. She doesn't want to be at college on the weekends with her friends, you know? And whether that's body image, or I'm sure there's a lot of stuff going on there, why or why not, but watching a mother who's taking control of her physical fitness versus a mother who's constantly struggling with it, probably a lot of negative self-talk, God, that impact that has is strong. What do you do to learn about mums, to learn about what they really want, their deeper desires, their self-talks, negative, positive?
So obviously I learned a lot from my current clients. I'm also part of fair few Facebook groups for mums. And I guess I'm doing a lot of research on the internet.
Who do your clients follow? Doesn't have to be fitness. Could be self-development, could be empowerment, could be gardening, doesn't matter.
That I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay, here's the process then. This is this comes largely from somebody named Mike Michalowicz, who wrote a book called Pumpkin Plan. And this isn't exactly what was from there, but that's where I originally got it from. So I'll give attribution. You take you basically take a sheet of paper and you write a line down the middle of it. And what you want to do is you want to recreate as many of the best clients you've ever had as possible. And so instead of working forwards and trying to guess, work backwards from the favorite people that you've ever worked with and go there. So take a piece of paper, write a line down the middle, right? On the left side, you're going to write people that I love to train, people that I love to work with. On the right side, you're going to say people who I've made the most amount of money from, largest lifetime value. Okay. So on the left side, you're going to write down 10 names, and that's just like purely subjective. Who are the 10 people that I just love to work with? Yeah, all of us have those kinds of clients, don't we? Where they just come in and you're just looking forward to 4:30 p.m. every single Tuesday and Thursday or whatever. Or if it's online, you're looking forward to those check-ins or those emails or whatever. The programming for them feels natural. Write down those names on one side. On the other piece of the paper, ideally, you can actually objectively look through your software and figure this out. But even if you can't, you kind of know who's paid you the most amount of money over time. And this is lifetime value. And so who's paid you the most amount of money? And then what you'll, in every single case I've ever done this scene, is there's at least 3 to 5 crossover. Because it's not surprising, but the people who pay us the most amount of money are often the people we like working with the most. And the people who don't are often the people who give you the most trouble. It's just like a kind of an iron rule of business. Okay, so now you have your 3 or 5 people. Study them. Like, learn more about them. I mean, you can think about them, but you could also just ask them in many cases, like, what magazines do you, if they're local, this works really well because you can actually ask, you can say, hey, are there any other services you use locally? Are there any flower shops? Are there any where do you get your haircut? Where do you go for massage? If this is local, because then what you can do is you can reach out to that massage therapist, or you can reach out to that barber shop or whatever, and you can say, hey, our clients have mentioned you as being their favorite barbershop in the area. I'd love to send you more business. Would you like to have a conversation about how I can do that? And then you put together a guide of favorite local businesses. And then you go to all of them and you say to them the same type of thing. They're going to do the same thing to you. But you have to take the lead, and you can't expect them to ever make anything. Because then they'll say, oh, I'd love to, like, it's pure reciprocation. This is Robert Cialdini's influence, like, start to finish. But the difference is that you're going to be sending to one masseuse, right? You're going to be sending to one flower shop. You're going to be sending to one whatever. Whereas, and so they're not, because just in business, this is what just happens. Very few people actually take the lead with anything like this. Most people are only responsive to it. But if you take the lead in doing it, you're going to have all of these places sending back to you. They're actually only going to get one person sending out to them, if that makes sense. You're going to get whatever the fuck. You can do the same thing online, although it's a little bit more spread out. You can say, hey, who are the people you really love following online, like self-development, right? Maybe they love Brene Brown. Maybe they, whoever, might be people you haven't heard of. Could be fiction authors. Could be magazines that they love. It could be hobbies, like, hey, 3 out of 5 of them really love, I don't know, crocheting. Like, I don't know, whatever it is. But wherever that is, that's where you go. And what you will find is very quickly you'll get into a very uncompetitive space. It was a time a couple of years ago, Allison and I went on a 48-day road trip across Canada and the United States, and we hit 16 national parks and monuments, and we went hiking. And what we found overwhelmingly, we went to some really, really popular national parks. If you've ever been to any national parks in the US, the popular ones are busy. No matter what time of the year you go, they're busy. But I noticed a phenomenon there, which is you get to the national park and you get to the main parking lot, and there's always like a paved walk to the main kind of outlook, waterfall, whatever the natural thing that you're going to. And everybody goes there, but there's always a path that goes farther. And the path that goes farther is never that difficult. It's usually like a dirt path, and it's another 5 or 10 minutes to like something else. And there's nobody. You got the thing to yourself. And what I realized is that very few people are willing to go the extra 5%, 2%, 1%. Just a little bit farther off of that obvious path. And this is a case of that, where if you work backwards from the best people you ever worked with, it should become pretty clear the 2 or 3 areas where you can really go all in and build your network. And it's probably not going to be areas in fitness specifically. And then you can kind of measure yourself energetically, because you might find that you're bored out of your mind with these things. But if you don't, you also might find that you're really into it. Maybe you'll be like my wife, who loves to knit and crochet. And that's like all she wants to do when she has downtime. I mean, I don't know, right? But that answer of whether mums is the right niche for you or not, I don't think that it matters that you're not a mom. But I do think it matters that you feel some sort of energy towards them. There's 3 decisions that we make in our life that are the 3 most important decisions anybody makes, which is who to spend your life with, spouse, marry, whether you get married or not, doesn't matter, but who to spend your life with, where do you live, and what do you do? And choosing what do you do, you kind of are saying, I need to be pretty excited about this for a long time. There are lots of good opportunities. How are you feeling with this?
Yeah, good. Do you think like could I have like a forum in my coaching app. Do you think I could like ask a few questions in a group setting, or is it better if I ask personally?
I would ask personally because I would want to be really specific with who you ask.
Yeah.
We did a lot of product innovation research testing when we were putting together Quick Coach, our software. And most of the work with the user experience surveys, we did like prototype studies and stuff like that anonymously before the tool came out, before anybody knew it was us. And most of the work actually was around choosing the right person to ask the questions to versus the actual questions that were asked. You got to be really, really careful in getting false feedback or misleading feedback. So I wouldn't, for that reason, ask publicly in a group. You're also going to need to go much deeper with people. Like you're going to need to peel back the onion. You're going to need to ask why 5 times.
Yeah.
Amongst these people, because they're not. I mean, you're going to ask them, hey, where do you like to hang out? What do you like to do outside of fitness? They'll be like, oh, I love to spend time with my kids. Oh, cool. So in the crazy time when your kid is napping for 2 hours, and I know that never happens, but like the one time that ever happens, what did you do with your time? Oh, I watched a video. Oh, really? How'd you decide what to watch? Oh, so-and-so told me. Oh. And you're just like, you're going to have to go deeper, like over and over and over again, which you can't do in a forum.
Yeah.
Once you and some people might be open to having more conversation and others might not. You also might learn something like really cool when you're about training them. You could incorporate too, or for gifting or for whatever, having that type of conversation.
I think I feel good about this. I'm definitely going to get on top of that.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, it's John again, and thank you for listening. I hope that you found that as insightful as I did, and perhaps eye-opening to another way of doing things, right? Working backwards from your best people, as opposed to this kind of assumed solution of oh, I have to do content, I have to do this niche. Like, let's actually work backwards from people that I like working with the most, and work through a process to try to recreate more of them. Seems to make sense to me. That was conversation as a hot seat. That was part of my online trainer mentorship. So this is my highest level program. It's for trainers, nutrition coaches, gym owners, influencers who are already doing at least $1,000 a month online. If that's you and you want to have a chat about potentially joining us to scale up, please go to Instagram. I'm at It's Coach Goodman. Send me a DM that just says mentor. We'll have a conversation. Now, if you're looking for another episode to listen to right now, I'm going to recommend another hot seat episode. It's episode 44, so it's pretty far back. You'll need to scroll back. Episode 44, do I need to change my niche? This is a question I get all the time. I go deep in this one. So if you've ever had that kind of feeling to yourself, is this something I need to change? Check that out, episode 44, and we'll talk again soon.